Hello friends, and welcome to Bindlestiff Open Stage Variety Show, the Quarantine Edition. Coming to you live from Bindlestiff Family Circus headquarters in Brooklyn, New York. Just over 2 hours away from the lawn and order capital of the world, Four Seasons Total Landscape, where manure is a nice word for what they speak. Just in case you base your entire week around Bindlestiff, today is Monday, November 9th in the year 2020. And for those of you born on this day, be warned of worldly temptations. And for those not born today, there are so many things to celebrate. To all, happy Freedom Day. To select fans, I wish you the best Scrapple Day ever. Speaking of celebrating foodie dates, last week was National Sandwich Day. And this week, we've upped the ante to celebrate National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. On a more serious note, in Germany, battling their history of hate that started with terror and ended with a wall collapse, today is recognized as a day of fate. In the Ukraine, we recognize Cultural Workers and Folk Artists Day. So nice to see that some governments care. Regardless of the holidays you choose, here in the United States, there's a lot of dancing going on in the streets. As the artists continue their warm-ups backstage and the audience filter into their seats, it's time to pass some time just whipping up another delicious dose of word salad. Once the house is full, we'll start the show. So take a moment, share the link, tell your friends how to find you tonight on the socials. Let the world know it's time to come to the circus. Let us pack this virtual big top. Until then, a quick take on recent and historical happenings with occasional ramblings. A loss this past week takes us one more step further from jeopardy. Alex Trebek, thanks for making questions matter. To the custodians of the American experiment, who are spending the week sweeping up glass from a shattered ceiling. Just a few days ago, Emily Harrington became the first woman to free climb El Capitan in under 24 hours. And if that wasn't enough, Kamala Harris has become a hero to so many. In certain regions of the country, battles continue to rage. As the records show, many a voter pushed for a beast. And although the grander beast may have been shot down, in local regions, the beast returned. Yes, folks, the electorate of Colorado voted to reintroduce the great wolves to the region. And showing that in many cases, the bark is worse than the bite. It was a rough election in Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, where the voters rose above the partisan divide to welcome French Bulldog Wilbur to the position of mayor. And now, in seemingly unrelated historical happenings that share today as their anniversary, Piero the Unfortunate, ruler of Florence, lost power and fled the state in 1494. In 1520, at the height of the Stockholm bloodbath, Swedish nobles were executed. Getting ready to talk turkey, it was on this day in 1620 that the Mayflower, bearing gifts of smallpox and diphtheria, spotted land at Cape Cod. And in 1858, the New York Symphony Orchestra presented their first public performance. And as we know, putting U.S. arrivals in cages was not a new thing. In 1936, the first live panda cub entered our country. And in 1968, Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends became #1 single in the UK. And just today, in 2020, my sister Jennifer Nelson, following months of virtual teaching, was able to open her classroom to students once again. Now, the current era shows us history can be brutal and ugly. And dear friend, it is too long a journey to get to decency. In 1955, the United Nations disapproved of South Africa's apartheid politics on this date. 20 years later, the UN German Assembly condemned apartheid, but it still took another two decades to end the practice. Here at home, 61 years ago, the Professional Golfers Association of America eliminated the Caucasians-only rule. And now, folks, let's continue our gander at sporting moments in history. No wonder it's America's pastime. Rising above the laws of the land, in 1953, the Supreme Court ruled that Major League Baseball was exempt from the Sherman antitrust laws. And in 1965, the first New York Knicks game of the season was postponed due to one of many blackouts that year. And in 1982, Sugar Ray Leonard retired for the first time. And in 85, Garry Kasparov became the youngest ever world chess champion. But in more serious news, this week the National Toy Hall of Fame inducted Jenga and Sidewalk Chalk. And while you were refreshing your feed, amazing things were happening elsewhere. Xie Denxing hit 34 table tennis balls in 1 minute with a pair of nunchucks. Now that we've gotten reality out of the way and let the house fill up a bit, kick back and enjoy a respite from the insanity and celebrate the love and strength of the circus. This screen is a place for magic and art to happen. It's an entertaining laboratory providing a place for mountebanks and minstrels to experiment. Over 300 artists from more than 25 states and 7 nations have danced upon our screen, with thousands of folks like you tuning in each week for our regular journey into the depths of the variety arts. Bindlestiff Open Stage provides a home for emerging and professional artists, and the Quarantine Edition brings the show right to you. Tonight, we return to the isolated world of circus artists in hopes of delivering a burst of fresh air to your shelter at home. We're here to celebrate art, expression, and human potential. Tonight, we break this fourth wall and bring you, vaudeville, live into your shelter. In this show, we pass the hat to support the artists you see on screen. We don't want to turn anyone away because they can't afford the tickets to tonight's show. Thus, we present it free of charge and ask those of you who can to contribute to the show. If you donate during the show, all of the support goes directly to the artists you see. During these trying times, help keep the arts alive in America. Our goals are simple. Bring joy and wonder to the world and feed the artist. Please help us do just this. Use any of these payment options shown. Now, dear friends, I'm going to continue with this show in the same way, doing the same thing that I have done for about 28 of these weeks. And that is by showing you one of the oldest toys on the face of this planet. This, my friend, is a top. By the looks of it, a very small percentage of you know how to properly throw it. So we'll start with the basics and go from there. This portion of the top throwing act is simply called the wind. The wind in top throwing lingo is simply a moment for the performer to look at you, the audience. We'll start with the most basic of throws and get a little fancier from there. I said, go ahead and switch it, Jim. We'll see if I can hit the target. I love this part of the show. I could watch this for hours. While this is spinning, let's take a moment and think about attention spans and how they've devolved over the past few decades. 40 years ago, people would watch a top spinning like this for 20 minutes at a time, thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. Wow. 17 more minutes to go. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add something a little bit different in here now, because I don't know how many of you out there know, but over the past few weeks, it was the International Top Spinning Competition online. And after many years of messing up throwing a particular this Japanese-style top, I learned how to finally throw it. So folks, I'm going to take this moment, wrap it up, and just get another top spinning on the platform. Once again, the wind. We'll switch this one up here for you so you get a little excitement. But I have a feeling that that's not enough for many of you, so friends, I'm going to go ahead and wind another one up and give you a fancy trick. Once again, the wind. Well, friends, our first artist of the night always brings the sparkle to the show. During the pandemic, she has been delving deeper into the manipulative arts. She is a winner and recently won a set of juggling clubs at this summer's online Club Renegade. But tonight, she will stick with the hoops she knows. She is a New York-based hula hoop performer, burlesque artist, and musician, bringing joy and happiness to audiences around the world with unique energy, skill, and humor. Welcome, Pinky Special.
Welcome. Hi. I'm Pinky. This is our living room. I have a brand new act for you tonight. I've never done before in front of public. It's a good thing I'm doing it in my living room, because you don't have to worry about flying hoops. All right, and then I have a little trick afterwards, okay? A little special trick. Here we go. Come on, get it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. All right. That's my new act for you guys. But now I got a little trick I want to do. It's my own version of exquisite failures. Because every time I watch a Bindlestiff, I just want to go home and just practice failing over and over and over again. So I have a little trick that I've been failing on a lot, so I got to show it to you. Give it a shot. Catch my breath. I call it the Matt Plendle kick-up. So if you know who Matt Plendle is, but amazing hula hoop artist, it's a kick-up from my ankle, my hand over my head. So I'm gonna pick that hoop from my ankle, my hand, and that's it. That's the goal, at least. But it's a little bit fancier. I'm gonna start hula hooping around my knee, and then move that hoop from my knee to my ankle with the other foot, and then kick it up. Okay, that's it. That's the trick. But Elia, I have to move the screen so you can see my ankles. Are you ready for that, Elia?
I am.
Sweet. I think that should do it. Can you guys see me? All right, we got 3 shots. Well, that was one failure number 1. You know, they say that doing a trick on stage is the equivalent of doing it 100 times during rehearsal. I don't know if that works for failures too, but I hope so. Here we go, number 2. That was failure 2. Before I finish the 3rd one, I have a little joke. What is the opposite of a croissant? A happy uncle. All right, number 3. Almost. But it was a perfect failure. Thanks, guys. Love ya.
Nice work, Pinky. I was a little worried about the lava lamp, but I'm glad it survived. Well, there's so many different ways to watch this show. Some folks put on the YouTube and just put it up on a big screen at home or maybe at the local sports bar. But then there's others who jump in and are part of the conversation, putting in comments throughout the entire show. And well, here at Bindlestiff, we honor the top chatterers. So at this moment, we're going to take this chance and, well, honor the folks who talked the most last week. This is only a reminder for those of you who are chatting this week to get those fingers going and get the let out. Well, Open Stage regular Madeline Dinnerstein came in tonight in 5th place. Coney Island photographer Norman Blake pushed hard and this week came in once again in 4th. Rachel Barczak continues chatting like a champ and tonight placed 3rd. Regular chatter champ once again got pushed from top billing. Nice try, Angelo. And tonight's top chatterer goes to a Columbia County native, a brute on the unicycle hockey field, a man I married as the officiant. Tonight's top chatterer goes to Mr. Tony Carano. Our next performer is one of the world's leading female jugglers. She started juggling at the age of 14, studied at the Academy for Circus and Performance Arts in the Netherlands, where she received her bachelor in 2013. Since then, she has been teaching and performing around the globe. Speaking of her teaching skills, she turned me on to so many things you can do with a single club. Tonight, she presents a special performance of her act, Paganini, as she joins forces with housemate Caden Hurst for the first time. Caden is a professional mandolin player and member of the band Never Come Down. He'll be accompanying this act with live music. Welcome to your screen, Ani Cooper and Caden Hurst. Connie Cooper and Caden Hurst. Now, folks, we take this moment to remind you that this is a donation-based show. Some of you may be wondering just how much you should donate to keep performance alive in America. The easy answer is everything. If you want an easy out, you could send us the suggested price of admission at our once in-person open stage at Dixon Place, a mere $12, a bargain even at twice the price. Or think of the money you won't be sending to Campaign Please, and instead support the poorer end of the 99% with tonight's donation. Or you can pay what you would usually pay for a night at the theater, $50 for maybe an off-Broadway, to $849 for Hamilton. For folks who have been working and getting paid all year, you may be wanting a different equation, a time to grab your calculator or abacus to do some figuring. Let's take a moment to think of the cost of going out. In a time before COVID, entertainment dollars were moving around. A night on the town would easily include dinner, drinks, and a show, usually costing at least 3 digits. You probably saved thousands in these 8 months of lockdown, while every week, Bindlestiff pays artists, recently more than we receive in donations. It is a deficit-causing reality that is required to keep the arts alive. So tonight, take some of that savings you have from personal lockdown. Give back to the world you want to see. Don't let the circus go broke. Help us feed these artists tonight so they can be here to entertain you tomorrow. Use any of the methods that you see on the screen to support the cast. Now, our next artist dropped out of art school to go to clown college. Starting his career with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, he toured the world for 30 years, performing clown, comedy, and juggling. Credits include The Late Show with David Letterman, the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, and the Vice Presidential Mansion. He has been a therapeutic clown with Big Apple Circus Clown Care and is co-founder of Washington, D.C.'s Clown Cabaret. He is the creator of the Bert the Nerd Thrill Show. He co-created and performed in Delusions of Grandeur and The Heist and God, the one-man show. On top of all of this, he is a visual artist and has created art for NASA and Ringling Brothers and has documented every single one of our Quarantine Edition shows and is doing it right now. Hopefully he can pull himself away from the drawing board for a moment to perform for us live. Give it up for Rich Potter.
Hello and welcome to Perspectives in Juggling. Hi, I'm your host, Rich Potter. And so I just wanted to talk about juggling a little bit. You see, juggling has a long and illustrious history of over 5,000 years. Juggling has been depicted on the walls inside Egyptian tombs, which probably means it's older than that because that's the first time someone thought to write down, hey, we have jugglers here. So through that history, nearly all of those 5,000 years, you've had to experience juggling live in person. But the last 100 years or so, we've had motion pictures, we've had television, and even more recently, the tiny device that fits in your pocket. You can view a juggler on a device that fits in your pocket. So in the viewing of juggling, you right now are among the 1%ers. Now it's been said that the Chinese have, the Chinese word for crisis is the same as the word for opportunity. And right now we have some difficulty in that you are not here live in person with me. You are experiencing me through a small screen that probably fits in your pocket. But rather than see this as a difficulty, like the Chinese, I'm going to see this as an opportunity. So I'm going to present for you Perspectives in Juggling. Yes. Normally juggling is experienced straight on with the performer behind the objects and the objects in front of the performer, in front of the audience. The audience sees from this angle. Oh, hang on. I know from experience juggling works a lot better with music, and for copyright and trademark purposes, I got myself a royalty-free source of music. Okay, that's enough. That's just the intro music. All right, so the juggling. Going to start with just some regular tricks. A short sequence. This is called the cascade. Now a trick under the leg. And one up the middle, one up the middle, one up the middle. Cheating. And behind the back. You get the idea. All right. And next, we are going to experience juggling not from the front like you would normally experience it, but from the side. Oh, intro music. Okay. From the side. Regular cascade, under the leg, one up the middle, one up the middle, one up the middle, cheating, and behind the back. You get the idea. And next, not just from the front or from the side, next we are going to experience juggling from the back. Sorry. Intro music. Ah! Whoa! Oh, that scared me. This thing came out of the box. I thought this was a child's toy. Who would want to scare a child? What a terrible person that must be. I mean, this is a devil. It's some kind of monster. It's a devil. Look, it has devil horns and devil eyes and a little devil smiley face. Whoever did that, they're probably they hate children. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to indoctrinate children into, I don't know, devil worship or Satanism or eating vegan food. Get thee behind me, Satan! Get thee behind me! In thy foul hole, thou foul beast. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Whew. Glad we won't have to deal with that again. All right. Now, third perspective of juggling from behind. Oh, sorry. Intro music. Okay. Juggling from behind. Under the leg. One up the middle. One up the middle. One up the middle. Cheating. And behind the back. You get the idea. All right. And next, we're going to have to go to a different camera to get a different perspective, because this time, we're going to experience juggling from below. That's right, worm's eye view. All right, here we are. Okay, intro music. Juggling from below. All right. Under the leg. Yeah. One up the middle, one up the middle, one up the middle, and cheating, and behind the back. Yeah, you got the idea. All right, so next, not just from below, but from above. We're going to view juggling from above. From above. All right. Oh, I can't hold the camera and have, we have to turn on the overhead camera, so just a second. I'm going to turn on the overhead camera. Overhead camera. Okay. This is the overhead camera. Hi guys. All right. So juggling from above. The regular cascade, and under the leg. Okay, and one up the middle, one up the middle, one up the middle, and yeah, behind the back. You get the idea. All right, let's switch back to the regular normal camera. Oh, sorry, that's this one, the normal camera. Okay, there we are. Okay, so all this experiencing of the juggling has been close up, and I want this to be full experience, many different experiences. So I'm going to present for you now the perspective of juggling of far away, but For this, I'm going to ask for the help of my lovely assistant, who's going to be standing 60 feet away. You can tell she's far away because she looks really small. Okay, so, and for copyright and trademark purposes, my lovely assistant's name is Schmarby. So Schmarby is going to stand 60 feet behind me, socially distanced, and she's going to juggle for you now. She's far away. Sorry, give me a second. Well, I have to prepare Schmarby for the juggling. Okay. Okay, now Schmarby is juggling. Look, her arms are even up. She's juggling. Okay, Schmarby, can you do your tricks? Under the leg. And one up the middle. And cheating. I don't know how that looks. And behind the back. You get the idea. All right. And for the grand finale, Schmarby is going to balance on my nose while standing 60 feet behind me. This is an amazing trick. While juggling, not one, not two, but three razor sharp machetes. Razor sharp machetes. They look smaller in the distance, of course, but trust me, these are very dangerous. Okay, Schmarby. So Schmarby is going to balance on my... Oh, hang on. Okay, that scared me again. Okay, Schmarby is going to balance on my nose. Oh, sorry, hang on a second. Schmarby, she forgot to dress completely this morning, so she's... she doesn't have any underwear on, and I'm trying to maintain the PG-13 status. So there we go. Yeah, you got to be careful when you're hiring assistants from the dollar store. So, okay, Schmarby is going to balance on my nose while juggling 3 dangerous machetes while standing 60 feet behind, which is why she looks so small. Here we go. All right, so there we go. Under the leg, one up the middle, cheating, and behind the back. You get the idea. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Schmarby, stand behind me, social distance. Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Command Central.
Thank you, Rich, and for you, it's back to the drawing board. No, literally, folks, Rich is going to be drawing this show until probably around midnight. Well, I'm going to give you one more little prop manipulation moment before we have a little more music. Because you see, on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a virtual school show, and tonight I'm going to practice just a couple of the things I'll be having to do for the 9th graders. So with that, friends, we're going to do a little bit of this. To the circus folks, you may know it as the Diabolo. To the circus educators, you probably know it as the Chinese yo-yo. I like to think of this as 20 years of no social life finally paying off. Here we go. Getting it warmed up. see if this one will fit in the room. So excited to feature one of Bindlestiff's Hudson neighbors in tonight's show. Our next artist is an excellent human, known to charismatically charm audiences with finely crafted, whimsical pop music and huge stage presence to boot. He has an endless ability to dream up unexpected but super catchy melodies and words, employing influences from the 80s synth pop to musical theater, to orchestral music. Our next artist really likes Burt Bacharach, the Beach Boys, Erasure, ABBA, and Stephen Sondheim. Welcome, Stephen Bloom.
Hello, good evening. This is a song I wrote and I'm recording, and when we're all vaccinated and safe, I'll gather up a couple of musician friends and we'll replace the recorded instruments, the computer instruments with real recorded live instruments, but this is my song. And the Wissahickon Creek was once the home of religious doomsday cults back in the 1700s, and now it is a park in the middle of bustling neighborhoods in Philadelphia. A hermit thrush told me about the wood, some creature's tricks. They want to take you back to their Pennsylvania cricks. Although they're so far from your new life that you now know, your important meeting, it was canceled, so you go. Dandelion daylight dies. You caught a dozen fireflies. A red delicious taste like fall. Well, it's all growing dark. Close your eyes. Sleep beside the Wissahickon if you're not shaken. Good enough for any Wiccan to dip their toes in. From your lips escapes a prayer. Do you believe in God? As you are, she sees you there. She's nodding as you nod. Your hair in the grass, skidding stones and glass. Lost are all the others. You have found yourself at last, baptized by the brothers as you wade into the past. Lenny Lennox are still in the trees. Hold a stone, then throw it. When it plunks, it scares a fish. Darts away, below it, still the ripple grants your wish. The brook bubbles your troubles away, if just for today. Sounds around astound you as you drink your drink and burp you hear. And chirp, lisping like Van Gogh. To the ebb and flow. Jarred awake, you crawl aboard your gasping septibus. Thinking back on where you snored, you look back and smile at us. Sleep beside the Wissahickon if you're not chicken. Good enough for any Wiccan to dip their toes in. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Delightful. And well, friends, we've reached that point of the show that we call the Community Bulletin Board. Now, before I start talking about things that I'm doing or even letting some of the other performers in the show talk, I encourage those of you out there who are sitting in the audience, who are doing workshops and other online shows, to go ahead and let all of the rest of the audience know what you're doing. Now, New Yorkers in need of some in-person action, I'd like you to know that tomorrow night, I'm taking part in a physically distanced production. It's a Central Park variety show featuring Leah McGowan and Dingo the Dancing Dog. Also, AJ Silver, Michael Saab, and even me. I may be swallowing something, not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing at that point. I'd also like to point out to you that, I forgot, actually the producer of the Central Park Variety Show, Mr. Ambrose Martos, will be making the show on Park Drive West, even with about West 74th Street. So make your way up there. I think it's around 7 p.m. tomorrow. Also, maybe some of you out there want to help support art beyond just sending a donation to the artist. Or maybe you have something that you want everybody to know about. There are so many different ways to sponsor this show, or even to put up an advertisement. At the end of the show, we'll give you a lot of details for how to do that. I also encourage anybody who hasn't yet to take our demographic survey. This is so that we can approach other potential supporters. The link for that should be on your screen about now. And now, friends, I'm going to turn it over to Pinky Special to let you know what she's up to.
Hi, welcome back to my living room. I'm Pinky Special again. Hello. I teach a weekly hula hoop class from this living room to your living room through Instagram Live. It's every Wednesday. Beginner class is the first Wednesday of every month. It's at 7 o'clock on Instagram, so it's live. You can learn in your own apartment, and it's really more of a hangout. We have a good time. We relax, get some exercise, a little sweating, and learn to hula hoop and have a good time. So come and join us every Wednesday. Thanks.
Hey, Rich Potter, you want to tell us about what you're doing?
Yeah. Am I? All the tech changed. Am I on screen?
Yeah, you're on screen right now.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I for the last 20 whatever shows, I've been doing Monday night art time with Rich. I've been doing live art, documenting these shows. And right now, it's always a little more flustery if I'm actually in the show. But I was in the show tonight. You can see I'm still. I had to put my costume back on so you'd recognize me. But I'm currently doing. This is the pencil face, and you can see I've already done Pinky, and I've done Ani, and I've done myself, and I've done Stefan or Stephen. You'll see the full thing tomorrow morning, probably after midnight tonight. It will be on the Bindlestiff page and on my page. But come by, watch the process after this show. So that's it. And prints of all my art is available upon request. Just find me, facebook.com/Rich Potter, or off the Bindlestiff page. So good to see you. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, hello. Do you enjoy songs inspired by death, crime, literature, myth, magic, poisonous plants, creatures of the deep, and the occult? Good news! My macabre musical duo, Charming Disaster, presents our weekly quarantine live stream this Friday night and every Friday night on Facebook and YouTube. Join us this week for a special Friday the 13th edition featuring spooky songs, divinations, diversions, and strange obsessions. You'll find links in the comments or find out more at charmingdisaster.com.
Hey, it's Rasa Vitalia. How you doing? I'm going to be coming up next on this fabulous show, and I just wanted to do a shout out to everybody here and the Bindlestiff Circus. It's been a fabulous show. I'm here to celebrate my new calendar. It's a 2021 calendar, and has also all kinds of good stuff happening there. Some people celebrating the good times as we will be projecting into the new year. So check it out. You can get it on my website at rasavitalia.com/store. See you then.
Hello friends, it's Annie again. If you want to defy gravity, well, you can do that with me every Saturday. I teach online classes for the Cirkus project here in Portland. You can go on www.thecircusproject.org and find adult online classes. Super fun. Come hang out with me. Also private classes, of course, everything online in your own living room. You can find those on my website. Just shoot me a message. That's annie-juggling.de for Germany, or support me on my Patreon, because that's what artists are doing this year. My Patreon is Annie Juggling. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Oh, hello, it's me again. We have just received word that Keith is experiencing some technical difficulties, so I'm going to fill a little time. This is usually when Keith does his exquisite failures section, so I thought maybe I would just play you a song until he gets his system up and running. I hope that sounds right. Okay, let me just grab one of these ukuleles. 1 second. There's a lot of ukuleles in this room, And sometimes you have to like figure out what the best one is for the occasion. Okay. My mother. This is going to be like an exquisite failure because I don't actually remember what key this song is in. All right, we're going to try it and see how it goes. Seems kind of high. Let's see. My mother told me to write something uplifting to cheer us as we wait for news to improve. That's not my forte, but she keeps on insisting, so I am attempting to lighten the mood. Stay in the house and pick up the phone. We're here with each other, though we are alone. 6 feet apart to keep everyone safe, but I hope that we sing this together someday. Hey John, how's Keith's system doing? You want to come on the mic and...
As he is rebooting now, so keep going.
Oh, it doesn't help if I've taken out my headphones, unfortunately.
He's rebooting now.
It's a disaster. Only one of these headphones works. Okay, Jim Fleming is re-entering the waiting room. That bodes well.
Yes, he said he's rebooting now.
All right, great. I'm going to do another verse. My father told me he'd been doing some reading about when all Europe had caught the Black Death, the bubonic plague, old Yersinia pestis. Oh, all things considered, we're lucky, I guess. Stay in the house and pick up the phone. We're here with each other, though we are alone. 6 feet apart to keep everyone safe, but I hope we can sing this together someday. I'm keeping an eye on the waiting room, but I don't see Keith yet, so we're gonna do another verse. They opened a tomb where a mummy was buried some thousands of years ago, sealed with a curse. What did they expect? Had they seen no old movies? The ancient Egyptians knew it could be worse. Stay in the house and pick up the phone. We're here with each other, though we are alone. 6 feet apart to keep everyone safe, but I hope we can sing this together someday. My brother says, hey, well, at least it's not raining, as torrents of water pour down from the sky. 'Cause all you can do now, apart from complaining, is try to crack jokes so we don't start to cry. Stay in the house and pick up the phone. We're here with each other, though we are alone. 6 feet apart to keep everyone safe, but I hope we can sing this together someday. Alright, we're still waiting for Keith. I'm gonna do one more verse, then we're gonna bring up the next act. Has this been uplifting? I did the assignment, but it's not so easy to ace this exam. The silvery lining, we're trying to find it. You'll show me, I hope, when we're out of this jam. Stay in the house and pick up the phone. We're here with each other, though we are alone. 6 feet apart to keep everyone safe, but I hope we can sing this together someday. 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 And with that, I'm going to turn over the stage to our next performer. Now, I don't have the notes with the introductions. Oh, I probably do have the notes with the introductions, actually. Hold on. This performer deserves a proper introduction, and I do have this. So let's see. It's been a few years since this next artist has been able to grace the Bindlestiff stage. The joy of our virtual shift allows us to bring back folks who aren't passing through the Big Apple, but instead can join us from their shelter. Tonight, we welcome back the exotic. Our next guest has appeared at the Apollo, the Slipper Room, the House of Blues, the Globe Theater, the Stratosphere, and the Fillmore. She is a world-class act, and her mad shake appeal will inspire and set your hearts and screens on fire. Tonight, she will be performing to her own music. Welcome the amazing Rasa Vitalia. And Rasa, if you want to unmute yourself and start that music going, I can't wait to
Can you handle this?
Rasa Vitalia. I love live entertainment when you have to deal with tech. We'll hope the internet keeps working for a little bit, because right now we're about to enter, from my end, it's been exquisite failures for the past 10 minutes. But for those of you that were here last week, we're going to kind of pick up with that. Now, you may recall that I was working on this juggling, chopping thing, but we haven't put the juggling part in there because we haven't figured out the chopping. So seeing that you're getting enough juggling tonight, we're going to only worry about the chopping. Now, to kind of bring those of you that weren't watching up to date on what we're aiming for, is eventually I'm going to be juggling 3 objects. A chef's knife, a fork, and a fruit or a vegetable. Now, in the middle of juggling this, I will throw the fruit or the vegetable in the air, taking the chef knife, cutting the fruit. It will then fly back into the air, and one of each will land, one on the fork and one on the knife. I've seen this happen once or twice on the YouTubes, but so far have not even come close. Now, the issue that we had last week is the potato was so heavy that when I chopped it, there was no moment that it went back into the air so you could actually catch it on the 2 objects. So tonight, I feel that not all potatoes are the same. So I'm going to try a couple different potatoes. And then we're going to try an apple and see if maybe just by the change of the fruit or vegetable, it gets us a little closer to what we're aiming for. And also, because we haven't even figured out what fruit works, I'm not going to worry about the juggling part. I'll place the knife on the hand like this. We'll start with this potato right here. I'm going to toss it up in the air, grab the knife, slice the potato. If all goes well, the potato will then fly back into the air, coming down in 2 pieces, landing on the knife and the fork. Here we go with the first potato. Now, once again with that potato, you can see that when it hit, it immediately, because of the weight of it, went straight down, at no point lifting back into the air so I could catch it. So for this next one, we're going to be heading to a different realm of potato and hope that just by changing potato, we change what happens. The second potato. Once again, you can see that the weight of the potato, even once it hit the knife, was in no way lifted back into the air with any chance of landing on the 2 objects. So instead of bringing out yet another potato for the third and final exquisite failure, we will take it to the original sin, the apple. Prepare yourselves for the third and final attempt for tonight's exquisite failure. Even with the apple, the knife is so sharp that it in no way lifts it up into the air with a chance to catch. So maybe next week, we'll try a duller knife. But my parents always told me that a dull knife does a worse cut than a sharp one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And with that, we're going to turn it back to Elia for another song.
Oh, hi, it's me again. Keith, I promised that I didn't sabotage your tech just so I'd get to play a little more. All right, this part of the show is our regularly scheduled commercial break. To help recall your moments here, you're gonna want a souvenir, a sticker, or a patch to fight the gloom. A t-shirt really is the best for wearing us across your chest and showing off for folks you see on Zoom. So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight, 'cause a little circus swag improves your life. When you're not here watching this show, how can you let your people know you're part of this community of clowns? Tattoos are great, but they can hurt, so maybe just go with a shirt. And why not go and order yours right now? So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight, 'cause a little circus swag improves your life. Your purchase won't just make you glad, it also keeps these artists fed, so thank you in advance for living large. Pick out the thing you like the most, and we will ship it out by post with circus love included free of charge. So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight, 'cause a little circus swag improves your life. You tune in every Monday night for feats of wonder and delight, and joy to keep you going all week long. Make sure everyone notices your heart belongs to Bindlestiff by doing what's instructed in this song. So go ahead and treat yourself and buy some merch tonight, 'cause a little circus swag improves your life. A little circus swag improves your life. A little circus swag improves your life.
Thank you, Elia. And now, friends, it is your last chance to pre-order a hoodie of your choice. We'll be ending the sale tomorrow. We're going to pop up a quick screen just to show you the choices you have. Now, folks, it must be 420 somewhere. Our next artists are class examples of ADD personified. Since 1990, their mutual lack of attention has been focused on a career dedicated to making people laugh. They have performed in 48 states, mostly altered. They have opened their cases in 4 countries and have appeared on television numerous times, including being semifinalists on season 4 of America's Got Talent. Thus, were not paid for their work. Steve is an Emerson College graduate and can be seen in the bottle juggling scene in the Pink Panther 2 with Steve Martin. Ryan, also known as Vanechka Karamazov, is a former member of the world-famous Flying Karamazov Brothers. Put your hands together for comedians Steve King and Ryan DeCoe of Fly By Night.
Hey, my name is Ryan.
My name is Steve.
And together we are Fly By Night. Yeah!
Jasmines!
As you can see, we are a juggling duo, so we are taking the proper precautions.
Been out of work for a while.
We haven't done a show in 3 years due to the pandemic.
Absolutely, all because of the pandemic.
It's been a little bit rough. I'm going to start off today's show, or our portion of the show. Thank you, Keith, by the way. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm going to start off today's show because I am the one with the most skills.
What'd you say?
I said, I am the one with the most skills.
No, before that, you said you were going to start the show.
I always start this show.
We just had a discussion about this, and you said today, because of this special quarantine edition, I could start the show.
I don't remember that.
When
were we talking about
When we were
this?
getting ready before the show.
What do you mean?
When we were getting ready before the show.
Oh, right.
You told me that.
When we were daintily putting on our chapstick.
That's right, the chapstick.
That's right.
We like to
our
have
lips
supple
get very
lips,
chapped.
Nice
Supple.
lips.
Supple
Lips.
Supple.
But we did have that conversation. Do you not remember that?
I don't remember that conversation at all.
Why?
Probably the chapstick.
That does make sense. Well, you did say I could start. So here we go for the first trick of the evening.
All right.
And
amazing.
The crowd goes wild. I can hear them from here.
Maybe they go, oh, sanitize.
He goes, oh, sanitize. So for those of you at home that may have missed it,
we just did something that we like to call a trick. And normally,
sometimes,
commonly,
after the trick
comes the...
So you want to try it again, Ryan, a second time?
And you could be clapping, but we don't know because we can't see you. Here it comes, the trick again. Let's put it into practical application. Here comes the excitement.
Just, can you not say that while standing so close?
Oh, sorry.
It's awkward.
Here we go.
And you're too close.
The trick one more time.
There it is.
Amazing. Sanitize.
Twice. Oh, sanitize.
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 Now, I'm going to continue with this amazing Vegas-like show. We are sarcastic.
Definitely sarcasm.
We're hanging out in my attic. It's amazing.
A virtual, exciting experience.
A virtual explosion of color and props.
It is.
I'm going to take one of these clubs. I'm going to take the red club. I'm going to throw it high into the air.
As high as we are, Ryan?
Not nearly as high as we are.
Not likely, Ryan.
It's going to do 47 rotations, after which I'm going to do a triple backward somersault. What?
The only thing triple you're ever going to do is a cheeseburger.
With bacon.
Probably followed immediately by a bypass, right? Am
That's
I right?
not funny.
I know.
That's medical.
Sorry about that,
Sometimes
folks.
my arm tingles, which is not good for a juggler.
Never good.
This mask is off. I look like a 70s porn star.
From the waist down.
It's true.
It's great.
How about we show them some tricks together?
Okay, well, this is one of my most favorite tricks. I've been practicing this a lot during quarantine. I've been getting a lot of practice
during
with
the
it.
coronacation.
During the coronacation. All alone. We like to call this one the stranger. Oh, sanitize.
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 Sanitize. Once again, we like to call this one the stranger. Ooh, so much excitement, Ryan. It feels different and awkward.
Amazing.
Wow. How about we show them something a little bit more exciting?
Okay, hold that. Actually, take them off for me for a second. Sanitize.
Sanitize. Practicing safety.
Okay, here we go.
There it is.
And now, for the next trick, we used to practice this a lot when we were actually working.
Especially in hotel rooms across this great nation of ours.
In fact, we enjoyed doing this trick as frequently as possible.
Often.
This one is called the reach around.
Oh, there we go.
Amazing.
It's virtually exciting.
Oh, it's my turn.
A virtual reach around.
It's my turn.
Here we go, people.
All the way
Skill
around.
and agility.
Hey, not bad for a fat guy and his friend.
I can't breathe, Ryan. Here we go. Let's do it.
Look, everybody.
It's sharing.
Oh,
yay.
Sharing is caring.
I can hear you out there.
I hope you're documenting this.
Do something, people.
Take a screenshot.
I don't care.
Take a screenshot.
Here we go, people.
Document this moment.
Thank you very much for having us, Keith and Mr. Bindlestiff.
My name is Ryan.
My name is Steve.
Together we are Fly by Night. Don't touch me.
Sorry.
I think of this next artist. Oh, wait, it's not even there yet. We should go to Hovey.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Polar bears, ask hubby. Lions, ask hubby. Elephants, ask hubby. Circuses, ask hubby. Juggling, ask hubby. Aerialists, ask hubby. Clowns, ask hubby. Ask hubby. Ask hubby. Tightrope walking, aerial gymnast, circus tent, ask hubby. Menagerie, barn, bathing, big time, ask hubby. Ask hubby. Ask hubby. These days, I don't get around very much, but I want you to know that that was me with Rasa Vitalia in the merch video. So I have gotten around, but with this pandemic, I don't get around much. And this morning, I woke up to find out that Pfizer had developed a effective vaccine for the COVID virus. And so I don't know whether to be happier about that or the fact that I owned a considerable number of shares of Pfizer, which did very well today. In any case, I'm a basket case, and I'm not going to try to answer anyone's question tonight because I don't think I can do justice to your question. But even though I can't get around, I can actually consult the catalog of Library of Congress. Or I realized yesterday, even the British Library, which used to be the British Museum before they separated out the library. But it wasn't always such, and it wasn't always so. So I'd like to introduce you to a man who had a huge influence on me. He was the bibliographer of Circus books. His name was Raymond Toolstock. And if he was alive today, he'd probably still be documenting circus books, although it might not be necessary with the technology we have today. But he would be 110 years old, but this is not the case. I was lucky enough to know him, and he was born in 1910 and died in 1982. And he wrote a voluminous 5-volume work called Circus and Allied Arts, a World Bibliography based on books in Library of Congress, the British Museum, and the Bibliothèque Nationale originally. He went on to do more volumes. Originally, there were only 3 volumes. And these 3 volumes, I first saw 2 volumes when I was a student at Florida State University. I couldn't find the 3rd volume. Of course I couldn't, it hadn't been published yet. And that was about 1960. And then I eventually made my first trip to Europe as a Columbia University student. And there I found a 3-volume set of Toulstadt's books, and I brought them home with me after a trip to Paris as well. And I have been buried in these books on and off for the last many years. So they look like these books have been abused, but actually they've only been used, very loved and used, and kind of worn out. Eventually the 4th volume came out, and then as late as 1992, a facsimile of his manuscript for the 5th volume was published by the CFA of the Great Britain, the Circus Friends Association. In the States, they're called circus fans, but in England, they call it friends, circus friends. And so once I got appointed to New York University, I went to London, and I looked up Mr. Toulstadt's number at the post office, because the post office was somehow inextricably connected with the postal service and telephone service together. I don't understand it at all, but I found his number. I called him, and I said, "Well, I have your book. I'm very impressed with what you've done about circus books. I'd love to meet you." And he said, "Why don't you come and visit me?" So I did. And he had a little flat on Tottenham Court. And I went to see him. And he was very polite. He offered me a drink. He had a little liquor cabinet and everything. I said, "Well, I don't really drink." He said, "How about port wine?" He gave me a port wine. It was delicious, tasted very good. And then he started showing me circus books and things like that. And he showed me books that he had 2 of them. I didn't even have 1. I wish I did. "Do you have this?" "No." "Do you have this?" "No." "Do you have this?" "No." "Are you sure you're a serious book collector?" And I was on the spot, and I said, "Well, I thought I was until I met you." And that got me off the hook. And we became great friends. And I became more of a book collector than I was then. In fact, in his bibliography, he in the volume 3, he lists his favorite 100 circus books, for people to think of as his favorite 100 circus books. He deliberately omitted Tuccaro because he said that Tuccaro was not within the possibility of a collector to ever expect to get. Too rare, too expensive. It was published in 1599 in Paris. And the title page, you may not be so familiar with, but many of you have probably seen this print. I could not, it's very faint. I hope you can see it okay. But it's diving through hoops. And it's a fold out. Here's the book, and it folds out twice. And then it folds out at the top and bottom. And I have a copy of it right here. It's not easy to show it to you because of the camera angles and all that. I can't even get it out. Oh no, I know why. I didn't do it right. Anyway, here's my copy of Tuccaro that was published in 1599. And yes, Mr. Toulstadt, I am a serious collector of circus books, and I can say that. So that's, I think, all I need to say tonight. And we'll get back to whatever is going on.
Thank you, Hovey. I think of this next artist as a regular of the Quarantine Edition. He rarely misses spending the evening with the show. When not filling the screen with music and magic, he can be found in the Chatterer halls plying for victory. Our final performer tonight is a composer, producer, performer, and a new dad based in New York City. His passion is more contagious than a virus, I know. He most recently toured internationally with the theater circus production Limbo. He is a teacher at the Norwegian Theater Academy in Fredrikstad, Norway. He has been featured performer at TED Talks, and he is a 2011 United States Artist Fellow, and is currently working on the music for Excuse Me, There's a Faggot in My Closet, a new musical by Craig Harwood, as well as a new album entitled Good Night, Little Machines, released in 2019. Welcome back to the Bindlestiff screen, Skip Shirey.
Am I there? Hello. And I moved to New York City to become the Bindlestiff Family Circus's band. I was in New Orleans. I was having a terrible time in New Orleans, which is hard to do, but I was. I remember I ate this organic bread and I kept smelling the smell of hair. And I found out there was a dead rat in the toaster. I had eaten 3 slices of toast and I had a breakdown. And I joined the circus. That's a true story. I want to say thank you to the Bindlestiff Family Circus because this quarantine has been so crazy. And every Monday night, me and my wife sit down and we watch the show, or we're in it. And it's from the bottom of my heart, I have to thank you, Keith. It's meant a lot to us. It's been the one steady thing, and it's been beautiful to see our friends commenting and all that. So thank you so much. Our minds are a little blown because of Saturday. And so this is our little celebration piece. Coco is behind the camera and she will also be participating. But here we have the orange marble and here we have the blue marble.
Thank you, Skip, and thank you, Coco. Well, friends, even with all the technical glitches and all, that's our show. Before I bring everyone back out, I want to thank you for joining us in show tonight. Thank you for sharing love and laughter in these trying times. Thank you for supporting live online entertainment. And thank you for supporting tonight's artist. Now, this show would not be possible without our amazing crew. The folks making us look good and sound good and stay connected. Up in the booth, we have Elia Bisker and John Huntington. My cameraman, Jim Fleming, and our new captain at the social media helm, Daniel Fetter. Managing the social media house, we have Laura Siegel. And now, folks, welcome back to the screen, the cast of tonight's production. We have Pinky Special, Rich Potter, Stephen Bloom, Fly by Night, Ani Cooper, Caden Hurst, Skip Shirey, Rasa Vitalia, Hubby Burgess. Now, if you're interested in being a part of season 2, stick around for more info on how to submit your material. Want to sponsor an upcoming show? Have something you want to promote to the Bindlestiff world? Stay tuned for those links. Please support the arts in whatever way you can. Your contributions and love really make a difference. I have been your host, Keith Nelson, and this has been Bindlestiff's Open Stage Variety Show, the Quarantine Edition. Stay safe, wear a mask, and love one another. We'll see you next week.